Breaking news, folks, Charlamagne Thagad just body-bagged Dame Dash. Again, and trust me, this wasn't a friendly debate. This was a full-blown public execution live on camera. But here's the million-dollar question. How many times can one man humiliate himself before he finally taps out? Think about it. This is the same Dame Dash who once strutted around like the king of hip-hop, flexing our OCFella credentials, throwing shade at Jay-Z, and bragging about business empires that apparently existed only in his imagination. And now, he's out here making fake chairman claims, lying about multi-million-dollar deals, and getting fact-checked in real time by a guy who literally calls himself God. And let's be honest, does anyone still buy what Dame's selling? Bankruptcy filings say otherwise. Court documents say otherwise. And Charlamagne? He just put the receipts on the table and clowned him so hard that social media gave him a brand new nickname, Det-Dash. So buckle up. Because in this video, we're exposing the full meltdown Dame's fake business claims, Charlamagne's savage takedown, and the brutal reactions from fans who are roasting Dame like it's Thanksgiving dinner. Spoiler alert, the turkey this year is Dame himself. Let's set the stage. Because this mess didn't just pop up out of nowhere. Oh no, this is the latest chapter in a long, embarrassing saga that has been haunting Dame Dash for years. Now, for anyone who somehow missed the train wreck known as Dame Dash's public image, let me refresh your memory. We're talking about the man who once co-founded our OCFella Records alongside Jay-Z and Kareem Biggs' Burka label that changed hip-hop forever. He was at the top of the world. Millions in the bank, platinum artists under his wing, and the kind of influence most moguls could only dream of. But somewhere between the early 2000s and today, Dame's story took a nosedive so hard it could be mistaken for a demolition derby. Fast forward to the last decade, and what do we see? A man who went from businessman to walking punchline. Bankruptcy filings stacked higher than his old or OCFella plaques. Child support battles, IRs breathing down his neck, and lawsuits left and right. Oh, and let's not forget the infamous Breakfast Club interviews where he tried to flex about being a boss while simultaneously proving he had no clue how modern media even works. And that's where Charlamagne Thagad enters the picture. Charlamagne isn't just a radio host, he's basically the grim reaper of celebrity egos. His specialty? Sitting back with that calm smirk, letting guests run their mouths, and then boom, dropping the kind of facts that leave them stuttering like they just got caught cheating on a pop quiz. So when Dame Dash decided to stroll back onto the Breakfast Club set, acting like he was doing them a favor, everyone watching knew one thing: this was about to go bad. Fast, and oh did it. Within minutes, Dame was making grandiose claims that had zero receipts. He literally sat there and told the world he was the chairman of Revolt TV, owned by Diddy, you know? That massive network that makes major announcements through outlets like Deadline, Variety, or The Hollywood Reporter. Except surprise, none of those outlets had ever mentioned Dame Dash, not once. Not even in the struggling entrepreneur files bankruptcy again section. But Dame didn't stop there. Nope, he doubled down. He kept repeating, "I'm the chairman of Revolt. I'm Cam's boss." Like if he said it enough times, it would magically become true. Spoiler alert, it didn't. In fact, it backfired so badly that Revolt's actual CEO had to come out and publicly clarify on record that Dame Dash had absolutely nothing to do with running their company. Ouch. And here's where Charlamagne smelled blood in the water. You could literally see it in his face. That tiny smirk creeping up, that look he gets right before he dismantles someone brick by brick. He knew Dame had just handed him the rope, and all he had to do was let him tie the noose himself, because here's the thing, Charlamagne didn't even have to yell. He didn't have to throw insults. All he had to do was calmly ask the most obvious question. If you're really chairman, why didn't any major outlets announce it? The silence after that? Oh, it was golden. And this is where Dame's meltdown truly began. That silence. That awkward, uncomfortable pause. It was the exact moment the internet collectively said, "Yup, Dame just played himself." Because instead of giving a straight answer, Instead of producing some kind of proof in email, a press release, even a fake LinkedIn screenshot, Dame did what Dame always does. He got defensive. He started talking in circles, throwing random names into the mix, and flexing about deals that sounded more like fairy tales than business moves. See, you don't understand, Charlamagne. I move different. I don't need the mainstream to validate me. I'm building my own empire. Really? Because according to those bankruptcy filings, the only empire you're building is made out of IOUs and overdue invoices. And here's the thing, the internet is not forgiving. The minute that clip hit social media, Twitter turned into a comedy club. One user tweeted, Dame Dash the chairman of Revolt? More like the chairman of Irrelevant. Another said, he's not running Revolt. He's running from his creditors. And my personal favorite, a meme showing Dame in a Burger King hat with the caption, Chairman of the Value Meal? Savage? But it wasn't just random trolls clowning him. Even industry insiders started whispering. An anonymous executive leaked to a blog that Dame had been cold calling companies, pitching himself as a consultant and getting laughed off the phone. Another so-called source claimed he showed up at a networking event, tried to name-drop Jay-Z, and got politely escorted out by security. If that's what moving different looks like, maybe he should try moving smarter. Meanwhile, Charlamagne just kept pressing in that surgical way only he can. Calm, cool, and cutting. But Dame, if you're the chairman, why does Revolt's own staff not know about it? Why hasn't Diddy confirmed it? Why is there zero evidence anywhere? And the more Charlamagne asked, the more unhinged Dame became. He started raising his voice, trying to flip the narrative, saying things like, That's your problem, Charlamagne. You always tearing black men down instead of uplifting them. Classic deflection. Instead of proving his point, he tried to guilt-trip the room into silence. But guess what? It didn't work, because by now, the audience wasn't buying the uplift excuse. They were too busy replaying the clip, laughing at Dame's contradictions, and dragging him for filth in the comments. Instagram lives lit up with people imitating Dame's voice, mocking his fake title, and predicting what his next imaginary job might be. CEO of Netflix, owner of the NBA, and my favorite, founder of ROCFL 2.0, coming soon to a courtroom near you. And the cherry on top? Reports surfaced that Revolt's actual executives were furious they even had to address this nonsense. Imagine running a multi-million-dollar company and suddenly you're forced to hold a press call just to clarify. No, Dame Dash is not our chairman. Please stop asking. That alone tells you how deep the humiliation ran. By the end of the interview, Dame wasn't just embarrassed, he was exposed. Again, and if you think that's where the humiliation stopped, oh no. This was only the beginning of the fallout. Because let's be honest, when someone like Dame Dash stumbles this hard on camera, the internet doesn't just laugh and move on. No. They grab the popcorn, rewind the clip, and turn the humiliation into a full-blown cultural event. And that's exactly what happened. Within hours, hashtags like #dead-dash and #fake-chairman were trending. Memes popped up faster than Dame's unpaid bills. People edited clips of the interview into TikTok skits, complete with clown music and captions like, "When you tell everyone you're the boss, but HR's never heard of you." Even celebrities jumped in on the roasting. A comedian tweeted, "Dame Dash out here claiming positions like I claim free trials on Netflix." Brutal, but the roasting wasn't just social. It started spiraling into something darker. Fake investigative blogs popped up, claiming Dame had been pitching fake investment opportunities to struggling artists, promising them ownership in companies that didn't even exist. Alleged documents surfaced online showing unpaid debts stacked into the millions: car leases, mortgages, jewelry loans, even an unpaid balance at a sneaker store. One anonymous insider even claimed Dame tried to use his chairman of Revolt line to secure a luxury car lease, and the dealership laughed him out the door. Now, is that story true? Who knows? But the fact that people believed it says everything about Dame's reputation right now. And while the internet had its fun, Charlamagne sat back like the king of petty receipts. Every time a new clip surfaced, fans tagged him with comments like, "Thank you for your service." He didn't even have to respond, his silence was enough. It was the silence of a man who knew he'd just buried his opponent without breaking a sweat. Meanwhile, whispers of legal consequences began circulating. Blogs speculated that Revolt's lawyers might take action for false representation. Could you imagine getting sued just for lying about having a job? That's a new level of rock bottom. Add that to Dame's long history of lawsuits and debts, and suddenly the word chairman starts looking more like charity case. And let's not forget the cultural consequences. Dame once built his brand on the idea of being a fearless boss, a mogul who never bowed down to the system. But now, every time he says boss, people hear bankrupt. Every time he says ownership, people think overdraft. His entire legacy is being rewritten in real time, not as a pioneer of hip-hop business, but as a cautionary tale of arrogance gone wrong. And here's the kicker. This wasn't even the first time Charlamagne embarrassed him. It wasn't the second. This was this video of a pattern. Every interview, every comeback attempt, every claim, it all circles back to the same ending. Dame Dash exposed, ridiculed, and left scrambling for dignity. He can't seem to find Dot, so what happens next? Does he double down again with another outrageous claim? Does he finally apologize and own up to the lies? Or does he just vanish into obscurity while the internet laughs at the highlight reel? One thing's for sure, after this round, the name Det Dash is never going away. So here's the real question, fam. How many more times can Dame Dash humiliate himself before he finally just logs off the internet for good? Because after this, the man's credibility is hanging by a thread thinner than his bank account. But what do you think? Was Charlamagne just doing what he always does, holding people accountable? Or did Dame really believe his own fairy tale and think nobody would check the receipts? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, because I want to hear from you. Do you still respect Dame for what he built in the past, or is he officially the laughingstock of hip-hop business forever? And don't forget, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next time a so-called mogul gets exposed. Trust me, in this industry, there's always another scandal waiting to blow up.